Well, good evening, everybody. Good night. Good whatever it is. Good evening. Good day.
Morning.
Good morning. Wherever you are, wherever you're watching, just good day to you. Good day. Good day, mate. Right now, it's just J-Mac here with you. And right now, I'm joined by Crispy Bacon. You see the breaking news there on the bottom of your screen, and we do have breaking news for you.
Oh.
Chris and I are two of the founding and longest running. In fact, we are, by the way. Chris and I are the two longest running personalities on the show. Since its founding, since the days it was founded. Sarge would be the third. We added Big B and Mess Around along the way.
Yep.
But we're the two founding. So, excuse me. The breaking news tonight is that we finally have a schedule for you. We finally have a schedule for you. See up there in the corner of the Oregon Cougars. We finally have their schedule and when it's going to start. So, an 8-week season. They're going to have 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
The first game is going to be April 22nd.
Okay.
And Chris, do you have that copy of that schedule I sent you?
I can pull it up real quick.
If you pull it up, I believe they start on the road, if I remember correctly. They start on the road in Seattle.
I'm getting it up.
If I remember the correct way that was going to go, they start on the road in Seattle.
I believe so.
I have all kinds of things after we get into the Cougars here. I just have all kinds of little shout outs to do tonight for some different people. And so we'll get to those.
See if I can't.
By the way, yeah, there we go. We can kind of see that there.
Yeah.
So April 22nd at Seattle, April 29th at SLC, which is Salt Lake City, May 6th, Portland. So 3 straight weeks of playing. Then they get a bye week. And then they go back to Portland May 20th. So Portland twice in 3 weeks, then a bye. So that game in Portland is going to be tough. That game in Portland, that's a Division I team. They're usually pretty good. You notice it's going to be a tough road this season for the team because they don't play. They had 3 wins last year, if I remember right. Correct, Chris? They were 3-4,
yeah.
3-4 last year. 2 of their wins were against Salem.
Oh, wow.
And you realize this year Salem is not on their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just correcting myself, looking at my notes, their 2 wins last year were against Seattle, so I stand corrected. They don't have Salem on the schedule this year, but Seattle, with their 2 wins last year against Seattle, Salt Lake's going to be a tough team. Salt Lake really is.
Yeah.
And then you have Portland. So 6 games this year. I talked to Coach Hoffman, and he's hoping to keep the bye week May 13th and potentially throw another game in May 27th to try to get a 7th game in there. That would be a game that would be nationally televised against a Division I team back east somewhere. So if we can make that happen, we'll have it for you as well.
So does each team have a 8-week schedule or?
Every team. So the Division One, which is the Pro League, they got 9 weeks and 7 games, and then Division Two and Division Three got 8 weeks and 6 games. So that's what's going on with that. Excuse me. So that's big news coming out tonight that we got the schedule. That's all set. Don't forget that we're your exclusive streaming home of the Oregon Cougars women's tackle football team of the WFA. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be great. We can't wait for that season start. Of course, I'll have your play-by-play. We're gonna try out some different things. Join us January 11th. Chris, I don't know if you can make a banner to throw this across the bottom of the screen or not, kind of as I say it.
Can. Yeah.
But join us January 11th. We're going to be out. You guys won't know where this is. I do living here, but
get that.
Join us January 11th. We're going to be out at the Veneta Firehouse. We're going to get some still pictures of the players, some headshots. We're going to do some intro videos. We're going to get some exclusive interviews with them that night on how they feel the season's going to go, what they're excited the most for, what we're excited the most for, what they're looking to get out of the season, what we are. Anyway, that is January 11th, and that'll be at 7 o'clock. Maybe it's 6:30. Let's say 6:30. 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. So let's all join for that. That'll be a great experience. In the evening, yes.
Okay.
So 6:30 Pacific Time. We'll get up there, get all set up, bring you that. We're gonna try to bring you some different angles this year. We've been trying out some different cameras. And so we're hoping that with the different cameras, we'll be able to do that. Veneta Firehouse is 6:30 Pacific. Yes, that looks great. Like I said, join us for that for the Oregon Cougars. But we're going to try some different angles. We're going to try to bring you some live exclusive. We're trying to do some cutting-edge stuff here. Oh, I could pull my camera back up so y'all can see what I'm talking about here. We're trying to do some hello to you, Suzanne. Thanks for joining tonight. Thanks for watching the show. We're trying to do some cutting edge stuff. So we are going to try out some different cameras, some different camera angles. We are actually going to try to get some interviews, in-game interviews. So we're going to try to get some interviews on the sidelines if we can pull it off and get some people. And I'll tell you that you'll hear some different voices this year. Like my voice will be the play-by-play. Okay. But there's different games. So going to Salt Lake City, we are actually working on getting some other people there from the network that you potentially could see or hear while on the broadcast. And I think that'd be pretty great for that. So we'll see what happens with all that. Chris, so we're trying to get you to a game this year. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And we got some other streaming stuff coming up. So watch for that. That's all coming up. Chris, anything you want to point to for the weekend? How about the college bowl games tomorrow? How's that looking?
Yeah, I think tomorrow's the playoff games. I think you got Michigan and TCU, and then you got Ohio State and Georgia.
Yeah. So, what's your predictions? Who's going to the college football championship?
I think it's going to be TCU and Georgia. I think that should be an interesting matchup. We haven't seen that matchup in the playoff or in a championship game. I don't think a lot of people want to see another Ohio State-Michigan game again. They see that every year.
Right. So you don't think Michigan wins tomorrow?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Here's your pick.
Well, I got Georgia. I've said it more than once. Georgia is far and above any other team in college football. Um, so I don't think it's close. I think they're going to go out there and beat the brakes off of Ohio State. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Michigan and TCU, a very intriguing matchup to me. You're going to have control the clock, run the ball, Big Ten football in Michigan versus throw the ball, stretch the field football in TCU. Both teams with very good defenses. However, I'll point out, with the conference you play in, also predicts what your defense is going to be like. So TCU, their defense has been good against Big 12 opponents who stretch the field out and throw the ball down the field. How are they going to do against a running team like Michigan? We don't know because we haven't seen it yet. And the same with Michigan. They're used to playing in the Big Ten where you control the clock and run the ball. And how are they going to play against a team that will stretch the field and throw it down the field like TCU? That's why it's an intriguing matchup to me. Now, flipping a coin, putting a gun to my head, making me make a decision on that, I would have to say TCU is probably going to come out on top. I'll give you a final of 40-27, TCU over Michigan. I'll give you a final of 51-14 with Georgia over Ohio State. I honestly think Georgia is going to beat the brakes off of Ohio State.
And I can see that.
So that gives us the same final that you had, Georgia against TCU. Now I think that would be a good game, and I think that'll be a close game. But we'll give you that prediction on another show. By the way, anyone watching and listening tonight, this is the final show of the year for the Four Bros Radio Show, ending out a fantastic 2022. I went back and counted. We did 86 shows this year.
Not bad.
Yeah, 86. That means we only took 18 days off that we were supposed to work for the show. So that shows you how hard we are. We do work hard on this show to bring you a good show. So 86 shows we did this year.
We try to make it up.
Right. So that puts us, if we stay on track of where we are right now, that puts us right around 86 this year. Now, anyone out there do quick math on this for me? Right? 86 shows this year. Mm-hmm. We did 72 shows last year.
Oh, wow.
So that puts us at 158. So you're talking 42 more shows, which is approximately 21 weeks. Now, there's a few days we'll have off in there. We'll take days off for various reasons. But 21 weeks puts us right before the Oregon Cougars football season starts.
Oh, wow.
We'll be right around when we'll be doing our 200th show for the Four Bros Radio Show. So, some exciting stuff coming for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, when everyone else is on the show, I'll thank all of them too. But that's a pretty big accomplishment. Like, we've pushed past 150 now, and we're still able to produce this show and put it out. It's pretty impressive, to be honest.
It is.
The fact that people still watch it, still listen to it, still want it around, haven't blown up our messenger and told us to stop bringing this ridiculous stuff on the air. So that's pretty impressive, if you ask me. I definitely think that's it's an accomplishment we should all be proud of. And so we'll make a big announcement. It gets closer to that 200th show, and we'll make sure that one it'll be an extravaganza, that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
for the 200th episode. Chris, anything you want to talk about tonight? Hey, when does I know that you're big. You're just not just an NFL fan. Right. You're a football fan.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about? I know they're bringing the XFL back. Is it this year or next year?
It is this year.
So why don't you tell us about that? When's it starting? Where the teams are located?
Sure.
Yeah. Why don't
It's
you tell
starting
us about all of that?
the week after the Super Bowl, or 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. I think it's starting up. It's gonna have 8 teams. I think it's gonna follow the same format as 2020. 8 teams in 2 conferences. Top 2 teams make the playoff.
On
Kind
each
of like
side?
college football. Yeah. And then
Okay.
a championship, but they never had the championship that season. A lot of the teams have come back. One team has not, but they added another team in its spot.
What are the teams if you have that pulled up right now?
Yeah. So the Arlington Renegades, which they were the Dallas Renegades. You got the Houston Roughnecks, Vegas Vipers, Orlando Guardians, which I believe they're in New York originally, St. Louis Battlehawks, San Antonio Burhams, that's a new team, Seattle Sea Dragons, and then the DC Defenders. A lot of them have either experienced coaches or a couple Hall of Fame players. Bob Stoops is going to be the head coach in Arlington. You got Wade Phillips in Houston. Hall of Famer Rod Woodson is going to be part of Vegas's team as a head coach. Jim Haslett's going to be the head coach in Seattle.
See, that one intrigues me. Jim Haslett. He was not very good.
Wasn't he a coach in Seattle?
He was a coach in Seattle. He was a coach in New Orleans, and he wasn't very good.
No. But
So
I
it
think
intrigues.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's say it just intrigues me to see how well he's going to do in the XFL. I like football too, and so I will tell you that I'll probably watch a couple of games. I did hear that the preliminary sales on season tickets for the XFL, that the St. Louis Battlehawks have sold the most tickets.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because I'm not surprised because St. Louis doesn't have an NFL football team anymore.
Yeah, and I think they're still battling that out, aren't they?
I think so.
The Rams and the state of Missouri or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's still going on. Mess around. Dave's watching. He says, "What's up, bros? Liquid Courage coming up tomorrow night. Sucks. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get a late start because I work till 11. You know what? It's gonna be great. We're all gonna stay up and watch. I know I'm gonna stay up and watch.
I'll watch. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're all gonna watch Mess Around Dave's special tomorrow with Liquid Courage.
Yep.
And I think that's a hell of a name, by the way, for the show. I think we make it a show tomorrow, and we make it Liquid Courage with Mess Around Dave. What a name that is!
I know, that's a good name. I like that.
And just remember when we're doing that we don't own rights to any of the music that will be played or sang on that show.
Right.
But it will be a good time, and we'll watch. We're hanging out. This is J Mac, the bearded one, here with Crispy Bacon. We're waiting to see if anyone else is going to hop on tonight. I think Big B will be here as soon as he can get here, and we'll talk some stuff. I had a trivia game picked out for tonight, but I don't know that we're going to get that far. But that's okay. Talking a little bit NCAA football. We just talked about that. We talked about the XFL making the comeback 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. We talked about the Oregon Cougars. You see up there in the corner the Oregon Cougars logo. They kicked their season off April 22nd. At Portland. I'm sorry, at Seattle. Excuse me. My apologies. And so that should be a pretty interesting thing going on there. Yep, I came up with it on my own. You did Mess Around. You did great. Liquid Courage with Mess Around. That's going to be a great show. But Chris, how's
Yeah.
life treating you, man? Just like how's life been?
Huh. Not too bad. I mean, I had the flu the last week, but other than that, not too bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Has it been hot down there in Texas?
No, I mean it's been a little cool, but nothing in the 80s or 90s yet. Probably in a couple months.
I know you want to hear something made me sick. This last week, I was sitting there at my desk, and my coworker's like, "Hey, I'm going on, big. Who's down to join me or brave enough? You never know. Mess around, you never know. I know I do some drinking on New Year's Eve, so we'll see." But my coworker comes to me. I was sitting at my desk. I'm making some phone calls and doing the thing, and he comes and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm not going to see you till after the New Year." We were all off today, so I had today off. The office was closed, but we go back on Tuesday, and he's not going to be back until the following Wednesday because he's going on vacation. And so he's telling me, "Man, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I'm supposed to go down to Cancun, Mexico. I'm going to be down there for like 8 to 10 days." And I'm like, "Oh, that must be nice." And he's like, "Well, looking at the weather though, and it's only supposed to be like 82 the whole time that I'm there."
And what do you mean you don't know what to do?
I know. I told him to just shut his damn mouth and go to Mexico because you're complaining because it's going to be 82. Well, we're sitting up here, and I had to admit, Big B's here with us, joining us now live on the show. And I had to admit to him the other day, I mean, I was complaining last week when all the ice was here and it was, 20 degrees. Then I looked at the map, and they didn't even make a color on the map for how cold it was going to be where Big B was.
Yeah, it was cold.
I believe it was something like negative 58.
In areas it got that cold, it was average around negative 30 to 35, 40. It was just a bad wind. I mean, that's what got us all. It was just a bad wind. And if you had an older car with a bad battery and didn't start it for like every couple hours, it was not starting. So
I bet not.
Yeah, fun.
Those cold cranking amps only go for so cold,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, catch you up real quick, Big B, if you haven't been listening to what we've been talking about. We talked some NCAA football. Let's get your predictions on the college football playoff tomorrow. What teams do you think are going to advance to the championship?
As a Big Ten guy, I was talking about this on Sports Minute. I'd like to see the Big Ten do it, but again, Ohio State's already lost to Michigan, so I can't see them putting them in the championship game. But again, I'm kind of getting sick of Georgia. I would like to see the upset over, TCU over Michigan, and then Ohio State over Georgia. But I think it's going to be Georgia, Michigan.
Yeah, you're a little different than what Chris and I said. Chris and I both have Georgia against TCU in the championship.
I would like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing TCU do it. As long as Crispy Bacon doesn't go on Facebook with in the fourth quarter say, "Hey, the game's over. Georgia's making it or Michigan's making it," because we know how that jinx works. It's almost as bad as the Big B baller on morning tailgate jinx. So
right. So agree with me or disagree with me on this one?
I disagree.
I figured. I said that I think the Georgia-Ohio State game isn't even going to be close, and Georgia is going to beat the brakes off of Ohio State.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, I guess I don't know if all the Georgia superstars are playing or five-star recruits are playing, because I know a lot of them like to take the bowl games off and get ready for the combine and stuff. But Georgia's second string and third string is probably better than most D1 first stringers. So yeah, I can see Georgia taking care of them in the second half at least. It might be close to start, but I think Georgia will take care of them in the second half.
Yeah. And one thing I mentioned to Chris before the show, and we'll bring it up right now. We also, Big B, we also announced the release of the Oregon Cougars schedule, and we went through week by week on that, said where they were going to be playing. That season will start August. I keep saying August. I don't know why I keep saying August. April 22nd will be the first game of the season for the Cougars.
I think we're used to football being in August. That's probably
I think
why,
so.
but-
I think so.
Now, are those on specific like Thursday night days, or are they all just kind of all over the place?
Saturday night, actually.
Saturday nights? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. April 22nd is the first game, and it's 8 weeks, 6 games. Hoping to schedule a 7th game on one of the bye weeks, I was told by Coach Hoffman. And so it's let's see, Isaiah just came on and said, "Sup, fellas." That's what we're going to say about that. And I gotta say one thing real quick before I ask you about the next topic. I'm going to bring up and ask a question. I gotta say that there's some people that I would like to tell them. You need if you're going to be open-minded about your team signing every good player and that you're going to win the World Series every year, but you haven't won the World Series since 1986. I don't get it, man. Even Marty McFly didn't want it. He eventually wanted to stop talking about 1985. So stop talking about 1986. It's like I tell all the Cowboys fans. Stop talking about 1995. I mean, how many? That was almost 30 years ago now. You're talking 1986 was almost 40 years ago, and you haven't done shit since then. In fact, we looked it up, and just to be certain, I looked it up for you. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, who haven't played in the NL East since 1994, have more NL East division titles than you do since 1990. So if you're listening, please just shut your damn mouth.
Well, and that's just with a lot of fans. I mean, you try to be smart, which is fine, whatever, but yet you need to, do some fact checking, and just don't rely on, this guy's the greatest guy ever, when he's healthy. Well, yeah, when he's healthy, possibly, but he's not healthy, so you can't factor that.
Well, and it's like I mentioned to Chris before the show. As big of a diehard fan, and I know this is how you feel, Big B, and so I'm trying to get Chris on the same page, and I think he is. As big of a diehard Cowboys fan as you are, I said, doesn't it just drive you nuts when a fan of the same team as you, when you're a humble fan, and you get someone from the same team that has to come and say, "Oh man, did you see that last game? We're winning the Super Bowl." Doesn't it make you just want to say, God. Shut the hell up?
Oh my God. No kidding. I mean, I might jokingly say that with the Twins because I'm a bigger baseball fan than I'm at any other Minnesota sport, but still, Vikings, 12-0 in one-score games. Easily could be 1-13 in the year if those one-score games turned out to be differently. Right. So yeah, I mean, yes, the ball's bouncing our way. We're getting the calls, but again, yes, trust me, I want the Vikings to make the Super Bowl in my lifetime. But this is one of those years where, God, I wish they would have just lost out and the Lions would have clinched the division and stuff like that. Because I mean, right now, I think they're the 5th best team in the AFC or NFC, possibly the 6th best team. So
who would you put below them?
The Commanders and Giants right now. But I know we played. I mean, we beat them both by a score. But I think the Giants are a better team. So if I had to put them 6th, I'd put the Commanders and then the Vikings and then the Giants. Right now to be the top teams to make the Super Bowl.
So, okay, all right. Yeah. So you would put the Buccaneers in the top 4, and I just want to clarify that because I
just can't. It comes playoff time, and you just can't count Brady out. I'd probably put 4th or 5th. Depending on how they finish off the season here. Now, if Carolina sneaks in, then I probably put the Vikings at 5, and then put Carolina at 6. Depending on how they finish up here, but you just can't count
Or
Brady
7.
out.
Well,
Or you put Carolina at 7th.
They'll be better than the Commanders.
Well, it's funny. I told Chris, I was like, if we would have bet that going to the last 2 weeks of the season that all Carolina and Jacksonville have to do is win out and they're in the playoffs, and no one would have believed us. Nobody.
I kind of want Tennessee to win.
You're right.
And that,
Again,
I'm just saying, and that's the scenario we're in. If Carolina wins their last 2 games and Jacksonville wins their last 2 games, they're both division champions and in the playoffs.
Well, and that's the thing too. I mean, who would have thought that? Not just at the beginning of the year, but after they traded their guys away, Carolina. You traded the best running back away when healthy, and now San Fran's on an 8 or 9 game winning streak with a Mr. Irrelevant quarterback right now. I mean,
Right.
Jacksonville. I think
Oh, I think we lost him for a
Well,
second.
apparently, I think we lost Big B.
I don't think the weather liked Jacksonville talk. So I mean,
Right? I guess not. I guess it didn't like us talking about Jacksonville making the playoffs. But let me ask you this, Chris. In your opinion, if Jacksonville wins the AFC South and makes the playoffs, does Doug Peterson win Coach of the Year in the NFL?
I think so. I think he wins Coach of the Year.
So the question, Big B, was
Yeah.
if Jacksonville pulls it off and they win the last 2 weeks and clinch the AFC South, does Doug Peterson win Coach of the Year in the NFL?
Oh, man, that is tough. If he doesn't win it, he's finishing second. But I put my vote on it. I think he would definitely win Coach of the Year. So, I mean, he's third all time, fourth all time winningest coach in Jacksonville history. I mean,
I think it's 4 now, but
fourth,
maybe it's
okay.
3. No, I think it's 3. You're right. He needed to. Yeah. I think it's 3.
But yeah, I think he if they clinch it, he goes number 2.
Who's number
I'm
1?
looking it up.
Uh,
I'm thinking Coughlin. I'm thinking.
No.
you'd probably go Buffalo.
Coaches. I'm talking who's Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
Oh. It's
Yeah,
probably going to be
Buffalo.
It's probably going to be between Detroit if they get in or Jacksonville. And if they don't get in, probably Buffalo.
Well, if we're talking the whole league, it's going to be Philly. Philly's going to be Coach of the Year. I don't know who's over there now, but
I'll give you that one. I'll give you Philly, but I gotta address Mess Around's comment here. He said, "Stop!
Yeah.
They're not winning because of him. They're winning because they have an amazing defense and a great running game." Okay, granted, but they had the same players last year, pretty much. A couple of guys they added on defense. They had the same running game last year with the same quarterback, and they won 2 games all year.
Yep.
And look who their coach was. I'm not.
It's a mixture. I would say you split it up 3 ways. Yeah, they're winning because of a good defense. They're winning because they got a new coach, and I think they're just winning just to show them that we got talent on this side. So.
Yeah, and I think that we got to kind of look at that way. Great point. Crispy Lions coach is a good possibility. He is. Dan Campbell would deserve Coach of the Year if they make the playoffs. I'll give him that he would.
Even now, I mean, I can see him finishing. I can see Jacksonville's, finishing second, along with Detroit finishing third in Coach of the Year, polls. I mean, because they brought their teams out of nowhere.
Yeah, they did.
I can see Arizona getting rid of theirs.
Oh, Kingsbury's gone.
Yeah.
That guy's a joke. I don't even know what the hell they were thinking when they hired him in the first place. He was awful at Texas Tech.
Hot commodity. I mean, that's the way the NFL is right now. And I shouldn't say the NFL alone, but a lot of sports, maybe outside of hockey, they go with a hot name, you know.
Yeah. So, question before we do our ads real quick and move on, is the fact that players can make money off their own likeness, so the NIL agreement in college football, now having transfer kids being able to transfer to whatever school they want, is it ruining college football?
Yes and no, I will say. I mean, I get that the kids are getting paid, you know, now because the school uses their likeness and stuff and, you know, to make money off the kids. So I understand why the kids are getting paid. But I think the transfer portal has just become too much of a free agent market now. I mean, I'm not good enough here, so I'm going to go try to be something somewhere else. I think they need to look at that transfer portal and make it to where it's based on, like, if your coach leaves or something, or your defensive coordinator leaves, you know, then I think you should be able to enter the transfer portal. I don't think it should be a free for all.
Right. Well, I think they changed it to where it's only open at certain times.
Yeah, it's open like 3 different times, but again, it's open to everybody, you know, for whatever reason.
No, it's open to everybody. It used to only be open if you suffered an injury and had to redshirt a season.
Yep.
Or like you're saying, or your coach left. That's used to be what it was open for. Now it's everybody. And you're talking about some players that they're going to play on their 4th team in 4 years.
Yeah. You know, just because you didn't get the starting job at this one, I'm going to enter the transfer portal and go over here, you know, so.
Or that you can say anybody can use it, but you only got one shot, one chance.
And that's and that actually been brought up, Chris, is that they might look at it and be like, okay, you get one chance to go to a different school, and that's it.
Right.
You know, which would help too. I mean,
it would help for sure. All right, Chris, run some ads for us real quick. I'm going to pull the apparel out here and have that up when you get back. Run some ads for us. We'll be right back here on the Four Bros Radio Show.
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
And there it is, Open-Minded, Reaper Apparel. It's our apparel company. That is our sponsor. Go check out what they got and help us out there. It helps pay the bills and keep shows like this going on. So, Big B, what we were talking about before you came on, right before you came on actually, is tonight is the 158th show in our show's history.
Nice.
So, 42 shows away from 200. So if you count that, every 2 weeks, you're talking 21 weeks. That's approximately around the same time as the Oregon Cougars opening football game that we'll be celebrating our 200th episode.
Okay.
So lots of great stuff coming up this next year, definitely for us and as so for sure. See what we haven't talked about yet. So we haven't talked much baseball. I'm one of those guys, you know, November rolls around and like, man, I miss baseball.
Yep.
Then December, I miss baseball. In January, I miss baseball. In February, I miss baseball. And then March, spring training comes, and I'm like, this is okay baseball, but I really miss regular season baseball. Then opening day comes around. The third pitch of the game is thrown, and I'm like, this fucking ump.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm kind of in that same group, especially when I was in in high school playing ball. It's like, okay, winter. Yeah, I played basketball, but it's like, okay, I want to get my glove out. I'll get the bat out. The weather's starting to warm up. Spring training hits. But I enjoyed the first week of the season, and then I kind of, depending on how my Twins are doing, pay attention here and there, and then I really get into baseball season after the All-Star break.
Yeah,
For sure.
Unless you're talking Little League World Series, then of course I'm there.
Little League World
all the time.
Series is one of its own, man. I mean, it's one of the
It
great
is
pastimes in America. I actually want to go attend, even if I never have anyone I even know that ever goes
I know.
to Disney.
I want to
I
go do
just
that
wanna
too.
Go and
Yep.
watch.
But can I say something though? Some of these kids, man, they are hitting the ball farther and harder. And I mean, some of the parks are only 220.
Yeah,
I mean, these kids are hitting like 330, 340. I mean, I'm not. I don't know if it's the bat or if it's just practice and they're working out differently. But man, they could probably hit some home runs out of some of the major league ballparks around town.
probably. But definitely, kids are built different now. That's for sure. And it's more about the power in baseball now than than it used to be.
Well, and then you always get that feel good story of either a team or a certain player. Like this past, I think it was either this past baseball World Series or the year before, where the pitcher threw at the kid's head, not on purpose, of course, knocked him down. The kid goes to first, and the pitcher broke down on the mound. And the kid that got hit walked over to him, gave him a hug, told him it was all good and stuff. So, you get those feel-good stories when it comes to the Little League World Series. That's what I enjoy.
And they were
Sure.
taught sportsmanship too.
Yeah, big sportsmanship. Yep.
Definitely. Playing sports as a kid, I've never felt any differently than this, that playing sports as a kid makes you grow up to be a good adult.
Yeah,
Because,
I
mean,
I think
okay.
I think a lot of people take it like especially if you play football because of the chemistry and all that. I think if you were big into football growing up, I think is where you definitely become a great adult.
Yeah. I would agree with that. All right, we got 15 or so minutes. I want to do this a little bit. I bought some new trivia games today. They had some stuff 50% off at the mall. And
Nice.
some of them that I bought actually came out really interesting. One of them is just pop culture. And so it could be anything. It's kind of a potpourri category.
Yeah.
Where it could be anything. So I'm just going to ask a couple questions. Let's see if you guys can get any of these.
Okay.
Chris, you might get some. You're a little older.
Yeah.
Now, we played this with my kids tonight. And, it wasn't good for them. I think of all the questions we asked them, they got about 6 of them right.
Okay.
So, and by the time I lost count, I think we were around 30 at some point, 30 to 6 or something like that. All right, so here comes a few. What rental company once had over 9,000 locations in America?
Rental company.
I'll
I'll
give
go
you a hint.
Blockbuster.
It is Blockbuster. I'll give you a
Oh,
hint. There's
yeah.
only one left in the whole world, and it's right here in Bend, Oregon.
No, I got a question for you. Is that still a Blockbuster, or did they turn it into
It
a
is.
Blockbuster / like hotel?
It does have the Airbnb that you can rent overnight.
Okay.
and it is.
Okay.
You can still rent and buy movies from the store, and then
Okay.
it's kind of 3 sections. So you go in and they have the main store where you can rent and buy movies, and then they have the
Okay.
spot that's the Airbnb, and then they have the third section, which is like a museum. They almost set it up like a museum. So
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, I got into a debate with the guy at work. He's like, "No, they turned that Blockbuster into a bread and breakfast." I'm like, and a museum. I'm like, "No, I think it's still open to rent movies and stuff."
it is.
So-
It is. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll have to reach out to them and see if we can get them on and talk about how historic that
I
is.
know. I know that'd be crazy. I could reach out to them. Who wanted to rock and roll all night and party every day?
Crispy.
Yeah,
Kiss.
yeah, it's Kiss.
Ooh, okay. I was thinking mess
Oh.
around, but I didn't.
Yeah.
By the way, I gotta pick on Dragon Viper a little bit. So
Uh-oh.
I'm even willing to let go of the trivia for a couple minutes to do this. Dragon Viper, there's those times in life when you probably just shouldn't say anything and you should just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
I think last night was one of those conversations you probably just should have stayed out of. He knows what
Are
conversation.
you talking about the one on
about.
Facebook?
Yeah, the
On
one
Messenger?
on Messenger. Yeah.
Okay, I was losing interest in it. I was wondering what the hell was going on.
Yeah, it's one of those he probably should have just stayed out of because he was going to get destroyed. And in the end, I mean, you saw mine. I was like, really, this is what we're talking about? I've never had that thought one time in my whole life, and I don't really ever care to have that thought, any of that. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But conversations you should just stay out of. Now,
Nope.
I heard someone say something supposedly funny, and I will tell you that it's one of those things that Big B and I would know we should never say to our significant others because that would not go well for us. So, Chris, take notes on this to never say this. Someone told me that their wife asked them what the equivalent to the man cave was. And he said, "Well, it's called the kitchen."
Ooh. Oh yeah. Yeah, don't say that, Chris, or you'll be sleeping in your man cave
Yeah.
or
And then
car or a hotel or at your
Right.
mom's house.
Right. Because then it went from there where he said, "Yeah, I believe you would say that mess around." And then it went to. By the way, that is what I said. I need somewhere to stay for a couple of days. Yeah,
Just a couple, huh?
I'm sure you do, buddy. I'm sure you do. By the way, what do you get when you cross arrogance and ignorance?
I don't know.
You know, I don't know either, but that doesn't mean that I'm not the best in the world at what I do. That one was for Dragon Viper because that sounds like something he would say. I don't know, but that doesn't mean that I don't know. And yeah.
Sure.
Just keep growing those Goldilocks there, Dragon Viper.
Exactly. See, I cut mine off. Dragon Viper, I cut mine off, man. My hair's short now. My beard's not so short anymore, but it's amazing how fast it grows after I shave it. Like I'll trim it down a little bit, and then a couple weeks later, it's right back up, man. I don't know. I guess I just have a knack for growing facial hair. What can I say?
Yep.
But I want to bring back something we haven't done in a while, and I've actually kind of
All
missed it. So Chris is going to be so happy he's here tonight. I gotta say that he's going to be so happy he's here because
I haven't thought of anything.
tonight we bring back rapid fire.
Nice. I thought for sure you're gonna say what or two truths and a lie, or as Messer likes to play, two lies or three lies and no truths.
Right. We'll bring that one back, but for tonight it's going to be rapid fire. So
Yes.
but I'm going to start with Big B tonight. I'm going to give Chris a break.
All right.
And before we do that, Mess Run wants to know when's the last time I shaved it completely off. That would have been circa 2006.
Was it for your wedding or?
No, it was for someone I knew that had cancer,
Oh,
and
good cause. Good cause.
they shaved their head, and I said that I wouldn't shave my head because I think it's lumpy underneath, and I don't know how well it looks. So I would shave my beard off, which they knew meant more to me than my hair anyway. So
Oh,
that was the
really?
last
Beard meant
time-
that much to you?
yeah. Well, so just to go through a little bit before we go to rapid fire, I actually have beard wash that I spend extra money on. I have some like balming gel, some full figure. So yeah, I probably spend more on my beard than I do like on my body wash and shampoo. So
So does that beard
Yeah.
wash stuff actually work, you think, or is it just
it
Help it grow?
definitely makes it softer for sure. Like I
Okay.
can actually pull through it. If it makes it grow more, I don't know. I don't know if it does that, but
okay?
it does. It works for me. And yeah. So I definitely spent a lot of money on that, for sure. And mess around says that's right. I remember that. Everyone remembers it. You know why? Because everyone was like, "Don't ever do that again."
Do we have a picture of that?
I do. I might let's see if I can find it.
All right.
So while I'm doing rapid fire, I will look for it and see.
Oh,
if I
you don't
can
have to look
find
for
it.
it tonight. I mean, maybe next show or
It's all right.
something.
It's okay. I think I can get it. So rapid fire. We'll start with Big B.
All right.
When was the last time you wore underwear that did not completely cover your ass?
Man, I would say probably a couple years ago.
Wow, I would have expected it would have been longer than that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. It's probably that last pair before you do laundry. It's just like, oh man, it didn't really fit that well. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, definitely remember those times. That's been a while for me too. Let's see, rapid fire. If you had to drink urine or eat grubs, bugs, those kind of things to survive, which one would you pick?
Ooh, that's honestly tough because I believe there's been a study that you could drink your urine if you needed to.
But the bugs
But,
have protein.
Yeah, I would probably go with the protein if I'm able to cook them and stuff. I definitely could not eat them raw. If it's raw, I'm drinking my urine. But if I'm able to fry them up or something like over a campfire or something, then yeah, I'd probably go with the bugs.
What if it's
Okay.
like a termite or something?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean-
you gotta do what you gotta do to live. I mean,
Right.
For sure. Let's see. Last question. Okay. Your sister. Do you have a sister?
oh yeah, I got two.
Okay, so whichever one's your favorite, pick one. Your sister and your mother are in a situation where you can save one of them.
Oh,
Yeah, I know, that's awful. But who are you picking?
I'm taking my mom. No,
Yeah.
has doubt about it. Well, one, my mom's been my only parent my whole life. I mean, as step parents and stuff, but yeah, my mom's given me so much. I'd have to do my mom.
I think most people are going to feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to Chris
I'm
for
ready.
his rapid fire. Chris, you have a chance to go to an NFL game. Okay,
Oh,
but your choices are: you can go to a home game of the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's all completely free, paid for. You have to do nothing.
Right.
Just go and watch the game.
Right.
Philadelphia Eagles, where they're not playing the Cowboys.
oh, you should have been. With the Cowboys, but anyway, go ahead.
Or you can go to a San Francisco 49ers game at home, all expenses paid, where they're also not playing the Cowboys.
Ooh.
And you got to dress up as a super fan.
Yeah, throw that in there. And you have to dress up as a super fan of one of those two teams.
While they're playing the Cowboys.
Go 49ers.
I figured there was no way in hell you would ever pick in the Eagles.
Well, the thing is just to get out of Philly, you would have to dress as a super fan just to get out of there.
Yeah.
Well,
You wear
true.
any other colors, you ain't getting out.
Well, I have family who's a Cowboy fan, and he lives in Philadelphia, and he's like, I can't go to a Cowboy game in my jersey. I get robbed or
Oh, no
who knows
doubt.
what.
Yeah, Philly fans
They
are
boo
pretty-
Santa Claus.
I know. Who does
I
that?
know.
Oh wait, Eagles fans.
Right. All right, last one for you, Chris. Choices. You can have one woman, one different woman, in your bed every day for the rest of your life, or you can find true happiness with an 85-year-old woman who's on her deathbed.
Ooh,
Which one are you picking?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
You don't think it would be that tough, but I'm even thinking about it.
I know.
Huh.
So you met this woman when she's 85, and
Yep. But,
okay.
But you met her, and it was like you have never felt this way about anyone in your entire life.
Oh,
Or you can have a different woman every single day for the rest of your life.
so you live like Max around, or you are happy.
See, I'm thinking it's kind of weird, but option A, because if you go option B, when if you get too attached, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is.
And are we at our current age right now, or?
I mean,
I mean,
wasn't specified. That wasn't specified in the question, but sure, we'll go with you at your current
I gotta
age.
go. I would have to go with like. I guess I would have to go with like Chris. Yeah, I'd have to go with like Chris with the first option.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's rapid fire tonight. So let's go around. Chris, give us some final thoughts.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. I believe we're having morning tailgate this Sunday.
Yep.
I think majority of the games are Sunday, one on Monday. So we'll cover
I thought all the
those.
games were Sunday.
There's one on Monday. One Monday.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the
I
Monday
think
night
it's
game.
the
of
final.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, tune into all of our other shows.
All right, Big B.
Yeah, like Chris said, morning tailgate, getting down there. Can't believe it's already week 17. I mean, we're a couple weeks away till playoffs, but keep checking us out all week long. C2C Rankin with me and Tim Hendricks on Tuesdays, and all the other great shows. And sooner or later, we're going to get that Oregon Cougar football show going here, so check that out too.
Yep, check that out. Lots of Oregon Cougar stuff coming in the beginning of the year. Also, a brand new NHL show is going to be debuting sometime in January. I don't have a date for you yet, but that will be happening. I promise you. I am in the ending developments of that show, and that show's name will be that. You'll have to wait and find out because I'm not going to tell you tonight. Anyway, thanks for watching, listening. However you listen, could not do this without you. Lifelong dreams being lived in front of your very eyes, and I will tell you what. Y'all have a great, safe, happy New Year. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Please, we all want you here the next day. Please don't do that.
Yes.
Take an Uber. Call. I'll come pick you up. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Call. Make a phone call to somebody. Have them come pick you up. Have a safe, happy New Year. We will see you all in 2023, and we'll see you all on the other side.